My daughter called me on a Thursday, which she never does. Because Thursday is card night, and she knows it, has known it for 11 years, and when I saw her name on the phone at 7:15 with the girls already dealing the first hand, I almost didn't answer. I stepped out into the hallway to take it, my cards still face down on the table behind me, and the girls kept dealing without me, the way they always do when someone steps out. Like, the game itself doesn't stop for anyone's phone call. My daughter said, right away, no hello first, I tried you last week too. Same night. Same time. Not angry, exactly. Careful, the way you say something you've been rehearsing. I said I'd been at card night, and there was a pause on the line I felt more than heard, and she said, right, of course, in a voice that had something folded into it. I didn't examine closely enough at the time, and then she said she had to go, the baby was crying, and hung up before I could ask what that had really been about. When I came back into the room, my cards were still exactly where I'd left them, untouched, a hand nobody had played for me, and I sat down and played the rest of it badly, anyway. Dot asked if I was all right. I told her I just wasn't seeing the cards tonight, which was true in more ways than one. Walking back to that table, I think some part of me had already started to understand why one small pause could follow a person like that. With my son, I'm always doing a kind of math in my head. Is this the right moment to ask about the job? Will mentioning the grandkids sound like a complaint, even though it's just true? With Dot, I don't do any math at all. I just say whatever's actually happening in my head, and she either laughs or tells me I'm being ridiculous, and either way it costs me nothing. I called my daughter back 2 days later, before Sunday, on purpose, because I didn't want this to wait for our regular call. I asked her plainly what that pause had been. She was quiet a moment, and then she said, the thing that's been sitting in me ever since, that it wasn't that card night bothered her. It was that she'd heard something in my voice saying, that's card night, that she'd never once heard in my voice saying her name. She said she didn't know how to be someone I relaxed around, because I'd never really been someone she could relax around either, not since she was a teenager, and I was always half a step ahead of her, correcting, managing, worrying out loud. She said, Dot probably never did any of that to her. She was right. Dot never had 30 years of being managed by me to get past. I didn't have a fix for that on the phone, and I didn't pretend to. I told her I wanted to try being someone she didn't have to brace for. She said she'd like that. Careful. The way you agree to something you've been disappointed by before, the girls had already noticed. The girls had already noticed something was off with me before I ever said a word about it. Carol asking twice that first night if I was sure I was fine. Fran quietly refilling my coffee without being asked, the way old friends do when they know better than to push. So the following Thursday, when I finally told them about the phone call, it didn't come out of nowhere. I told them what my daughter had said, that she didn't know how to be someone I relaxed around. Carol went quiet, then said her own daughter had said almost that same thing to her once, close enough in wording that it startled both of us. Fran said she thought that was just what it was to raise someone. You spend so many years being the person in charge of them that becoming the person they can be at ease with takes its own kind of relearning, on both sides, and nobody tells you that going in. Dot just said, well, we didn't raise you, we just have to like you, and went back to shuffling, and I sat with that longer than I've sat with almost anything anyone said to me this year. I still love Thursdays. I don't think that will change, and I've stopped feeling guilty about it the way I did those first few weeks after the pause. But this Sunday, instead of doing the math I usually do before I say anything to my daughter, I just told her something true and small that I was proud of her, plainly, without leading up to it or softening it first. She went quiet again on the other end, It was a different kind of quiet than the one from that Thursday call. I don't know if I'll ever feel with her exactly what I feel across that card table. I think that might be all right. I think some ease has to be built slowly, on purpose, the way you'd learn a game you didn't grow up playing, and I'm 82, and I'd still rather start late than not at all.